Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I am the Couch Warrior, and you're watching Arcane Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. Well, if you remember when we last left off, we had determined that it was time to bump off Grelad the Kind. So we made a big show of leaving the city. We talked to the guards on the way out. We found a quiet spot here in the woods to wait until nightfall, and we are heading in to perform this assassination. So the rationale here is that we want to eliminate Grelad, but we don't want to be suspected of having done the job. So we made a big show of leaving town, and after camping out until nightfall, it's probably, I don't know, about midnight, you'll notice that I've just gone through my inventory and I have changed my outfit. I have kept the hood on, but I have changed to some garb that I stole from a dead vampire. We're going to make our way in. Now my plan is to sneak back into Riften by way of the back door, being careful not to be seen by any guards at all, perform the assassination, and sneak back out again. I've changed my clothing as a way of sort of, I don't know, just a fail-safe in case somebody does spot me. I'm not dressed in exactly the same garb I was when I left the city. So the point is to really kind of cover my tracks. So I'm going invisible here. I've got to get by this guy, Maul, who hangs out here down on the pier. And then there's one guard here right ahead of me. He's very difficult to see, but he stands right at the bottom of the stairs. So I need to kind of hustle here before my potion wears off. Get up to the door. Now, one thing that I did do is I took the Serpent Guardian Stone, so I've got one backup invisibility power that I can use if I need to. And I've got 2 invisibility potions that I can use as well. And I've got very specific plans for each one of these invisibility capabilities that I'm going to use, if you will. So at this point, I know based on previous observation, there is a guard that patrols here. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and wait here in the darkness for him to pass before I make my next move. So there are guards stationed at both of the main gates. So, and this position here is much more porous, which is to say that there's a guard on one side but not on the inside. So in the other 2 cases, I've got guards inside and outside the gates, so those aren't ideal locations to sneak in. In other words, if I were to use an invisibility potion to get past one guard, as soon as I open that door, my invisibility is compromised and I'll be seen by the guard on the inside. This particular location, there is no guard on the inside, so I can pop that potion, and once I get through the door, I've immediately got a nice kind of dark spot to hide while I make my next move. So that guard is heading back down the other way. We're going to scoot across here, and we're going to slip into the Honor Hall Orphanage. Now we're going late enough at night that everybody in here should be asleep. Now I've got 1 invisibility potion remaining, and I've also got my Serpent Stone invisibility power available to me, which I'm going to use both of them. But I've got very specific places where I'm going to need them, so I have to make sure that I don't put myself in a position where I need to use them in an emergency. Alright, so all the kids are sleeping. We've cased this place before, so we know the layout. Alright, this is Grelad's assistant. We are going to close her door quietly. I'm doing that because that is going to delay any time it takes for her to leave her room, plus I'll hear the door open and close, so I'll know if she's left her room. We'll proceed into Grelad's room, and we're going to close the door behind us here as well. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to case the entire room. I'm going to look for any valuables or things I want to take with me before I do the deed. Because once the deed is done, I'm going to have to exit quickly. There's not going to be a lot of time for searching. So while she's sleeping, we'll go ahead and kind of take a little look around. For the owner of an orphanage, she's got a lot of bags of coin laying around, which leads me to believe that there are other reasons why she's probably a pretty unsavory person. And we came in here during the day in the last episode, if you remember, and just kind of cased the joint. We were able to do it stealthily because she was busy lecturing all of the kids. But just from the doorway, we were able to determine what the layout was, how many people were inside the building, and, you know, roughly where her bedroom was as well. So that was that surveillance was well worth the time we spent doing it. All right. Now, since this is our very first assassination, Fleet, being the arrogant bastard that he is, we are going to consider leaving an ego signature. And by that, I mean it is a sign of our handiwork. What is our ego signature going to be? I'm thinking right now a red apple. Basically what that is a calling card, so to speak. So you sometimes see that with thieves and so forth, where they'll leave a calling card. It's kind of a sign of arrogance to say, hey, I did this and you didn't catch me. So what I've decided is that Fleet's calling card is going to be a red apple. Anytime that he steals something, he's going to leave a red apple in its place. And anytime that he performs an assassination, he's going to leave a red apple on the scene of the crime. And by stealing something, I mean when he performs one of the burglary missions or a heist mission where he maybe is robbing a strongbox. There's just something kind of interesting and ironic about the victim of the crime going back to their strongbox and finding their valuables missing and a red apple in its place. All right, let's do this. Good night, Grillad. She makes a lot of noise. So the first thing we're going to do here, the kill was clean, but the victim made a lot of noise, so we need to prep our next invisibility potion. We're going to use it here, but we're not going to use it right away. I'm going to put this potion in my shortcuts, and I'm going to favorite it so I can use it very quickly. But we know that the kids are going to run to the scene of the crime. If I were to drink this potion now, I would probably lose its effects when I attempted to open the door to escape. So we're going to hide, we're going to get ourselves out of the way, we're going to let the kids come and open the door for us, and while they're paying attention to Grella dead on the bed, bleeding from her gushing wound, we're going to sneak out behind him.
No more. I yield.
Here they come. And we are out.
Just leave here. Leave us alone.
All right. So that's potion number 2. That takes care of all the invisibility potions I brought with me. Now we need to get stealthily back to our back door exit. All right, I think he's coming back. We're going to tuck ourselves away here in this dark corner. Let him pass. Hopefully we won't need the dagger again. All right, there he goes. We're concealed. All right, now let's scoot around here and out the door. Now we can't forget that we've got that guard hiding in the darkness at the bottom of the stairs on the pier. So this is where we're going to use the Serpent Stone power. We get it once per day. I can't think of a better time to use it than now. So we will use that here. That should be long enough for us to get past that guard, get past Maul, and slip back down into the water. Ah, Shadowstone. Serpentstone is poison, isn't it? That's a poison power. So it's Shadowstone. I misspoke. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Slip by one.
It is done. I won't go back to options.
Now my intent is to exit on the opposite side of the lake that we went in, but rather than jumping off the side of the pier and making a big splash, I can kind of go down this ramp and slip into the water quietly. We're going to make our swim. Well, we did it. I believe we successfully pulled off that mission without having alerted anyone to our presence. So I think that was pretty good. We've still got a lot of darkness left here to kind of figure out what our next step is going to be. All right. Now we're on shore, so we're going to put our regular garb back on. And I'm also going to ditch the wet clothes I used for my impromptu disguise. So the vampire robes we're going to leave on the shore here, along with the boots. And we are good to go. So now what? Next step is we need to go and tell our young patron that we have completed his mission and collect our payment. Although it's not really the payment we care about in this case. It's getting the word out that we actually finished the job. That's the important thing. Trying to set ourselves up for the next stage in our operation. So now we need to make our way from here cross country to Windhelm. Before I do that,
So many refuse to take a look.
I'm going to make a stop here. Just want to check quick to see. I don't always check with these guys when I see them. We'll pick up some more arrows. Get rid of some things if we can. Lighten our load a bit. And I may hang with these guys until daybreak. And we'll make our way through that treacherous wilderness territory during the daytime. If you remember, in Chapter 2, we made our way once from Windhelm to Riften. And in that process, we gathered up a whole bunch of trolls and brought them with us, and they were eliminated by the town guard. I think at the end, during that trip, I saw a total of 5 mountain trolls, but we brought 4 in, and they were killed by the guards here. So I expect there is still a troll out there roving around between us and Windhelm that we're going to have to keep our eyes open for. But
in their land.
In all other
So we are
respects,
forbidden to enter their cities.
that wilderness area
When
should
they
be
look upon
pretty free
us,
of predators.
they see
We
only
ought to be able to move through there
pickpockets
pretty
and
rapidly, I would
skooma
think.
dealers.
So
It is most unfair.
it'd be interesting to see
But we do our
what we
best to
encounter.
ignore them.
It wasn't that long ago when you think about it that we were through
Not
there and
long, in
eliminated all
truth.
those trolls.
I came to Skyrim
So hopefully
after
smooth
I found
sailing.
myself unwelcome in both elsewhere and Cyrodiil.
Hope everyone is doing well.
I seem to
I
have
appreciate
an
your
unfortunate
viewership and your
talent for getting
patience.
myself involved
I'm very
in
happy to get back into
misunderstandings
Chapter
with the
3.
law. Ressard was
And
able to look
I've gotten
past
a lot of
that,
great comments
and it
on
was he who
Part
helped to
1
set me up with a
of
trade
Chapter 3.
caravan.
I appreciate those comments.
Now I work for him.
Lots of good feedback. And based on my production
May
schedule,
your road lead you to warm sands.
Chapter 3, Part 3 will be the end of the Xbox 360 footage, and Chapter 3, Part 4 will mark the beginning of PC footage and the availability of mods. I've been taking the time to quiz many of you on your suggestions for mods that I should be using. One that's come up over and over again is Frostfall, because it introduces some realism around the aspects of weather and the effect of weather on your character and your travel situation and your gear and all that stuff. I will be using Frostfall. I will probably be adjusting the settings so that exposure does not kill my character, but will adversely affect my character's ability scores. And I've done some test play of that, so I kind of understand the mechanics for how it works, so I won't be going in completely blind. Alright, we can set out. It's early in the morning. We're going to head out, make our way to Windhelm, try to get there before nightfall. Look at that. Level 19. Did it. Let's check it out. Thinking health, and got 2 perks to spend. I think it's time that we get serious about crafting, so we've got 1 in alchemy, and let's do 1 in enchanting. We need to start down that road, making some better equipment for ourselves, so it'll help us out. In addition to Frostfall, I haven't made very definite decisions about what I'm going to do. I'm going to be very careful about introducing graphics enhancements into my gameplay, only because I don't want my gameplay, the quality of my gameplay, to suffer because of lots of graphical enhancements. One thing that I will be doing for sure is I have been testing the enhanced water, and I do like that very much, and I'll probably continue to use that. As far as the overall enhancements where, you know, it just makes the colors more vivid and stuff like that, I don't see a whole lot of value in that in terms of the actual story or gameplay. And to be honest, I'd like to preserve the continuity of the story, so I don't want to be introducing graphics enhancements that change locations we've already been to. So there are a few options for enhancing the way that particular towns and cities look, and if it's a town that we haven't been to before, I might consider doing that, using some of the mods that add additional trees or, you know, things like that. But I don't want to use any mods that will actually change places we've been to before. I think that's just gonna be odd, so not gonna do that. Ouch. Here's one. Ow. I don't see any disease indicators. I think I'm okay. I am carrying a cure disease with me now, though. I thought better of my decision before not to carry one, so get that in case I get in a pinch. Other than that, I do expect to be using some mods to enhance, you know, clothing and armor options, possibly some weapon options, and maybe in the long run, when I get more invested in spells, perhaps looking at some of the other spell packages that are available. Now look at this. We've gotten to this point relatively unscathed. We encountered 2 wolves, but when we went back through this same area before, we encountered, I think, 6 wolves and at least 4 trolls. So passing through this area before, the work that we've done here previously is making this area safe for us to travel, so we're going to make very good time. But I think we're rapidly approaching that location where we encountered the first 2 trolls, and I believe it is one of those 2 trolls that we lost on the last trip, so I'm expecting to find a troll somewhere along the trail here. We're taking the high road here so we can look down over the trail. I don't want to be surprised by a troll. So we're going to try to spot him before he spots us. So we're going to get a good overlook spot where we can kind of see what's coming. And then when we're absolutely sure the way is clear, we'll carefully make our way down. Now this troll, I want to locate him, but I don't want to kill him. I've got some plans for him. There he is, right there. Alright. Get his attention, wake him up a little bit. One of the things I'm always looking for is an opportunity to make a buck. There's a mage down in this area, or a group of mages that have a little bit of loot. Combined, they're probably too much for me to take on, but I am going to present them with enough of a problem that I can get in there and take some of their stuff without them realizing it. And in order to pull that off, this troll may be my best option. My goal is to get his attention, piss him off, and we'll get him to come after me. I don't want to kill him, though. Over here. Alright, now we got his attention. Alright, let's go. Alright, I'm going to go around this way. Just making a little distance. We'll use the muffle because the end game here for me is that I'm going to try and... I'm going to have this troll follow me. I can't recall how far down the trail it is, but there is this encampment of necromancers. I'm going to run him into the camp, and while the chaos ensues, I'm hoping there will be enough time for me to steal a bunch of stuff. Come on, buddy. It's times like this when I wish I had more trolls. Okay, yeah, here's the camp down here. There's these rock archways. That sort of marks the gateway into the camp. So we need to get him to keep following us long enough to get him in there. We're going to run him right into the camp. There's a necromancer that sits by a campfire right outside here. Come on. That ought to keep him busy. Give us a second to grab up some loot. Here we go. There he is. Alright. Now we've run the troll in. We're going to scoot down around here. We hear them beating each other up. That gets us out of the line of fire. It also breaks the sight line. Get our weapon out just in case. We've still got our muffle in force, so we go into sneak mode, and we're going to come right back in around behind both of them. So, you know, our troll still has a lot of health left. This is a good sign for us. It means the battle's going to be prolonged. I can't tell where it's ranging, though, because they're not in sight. But this works out good for us. We're going to scoot up here to the left and go inside this broken tower, and there's a bunch of loot inside there. Alright, let's go in here. Sometimes it takes me a long time to pick locks. I'm very thankful that the game clock essentially stops when I start picking a lock. But my understanding is that that is not going to be the case in Elder Scrolls Online, that there's going to be some time pressure when picking locks, which means I'm going to suck at picking locks even more. But it may actually make the case for investing in lock-picking related skills. Okay, they are nowhere to be seen. This is great. So we will scoot out through this little opening here and head back out. So we picked up some alchemy ingredients, some money, a little bit of loot, And we're back on the trail. It would have been interesting to discover the outcome of that fight. But I don't know that it's wise for us to stick around the scene of the crime too much longer. Alright, we are zigzagging across the trail, not taking the trail. Looking for our overlooked spots. Checking out what's ahead. It's the same routine I always use. I like it because it also gives me an excuse to kind of explore some of the less traveled areas of Skyrim. Sometimes I stick pretty close to the trail and I'll go, you know, off on either side. Sometimes I'll cut corners. You know, areas where I know the trail doubles back on itself, I'll cut across. And a lot of times, in the process of doing that, I'll find interesting little places and things that I wouldn't have found if I just stuck to the trail or road. So I like traveling this way better. Now this road should be pretty clear too. We came through this area. There were some giants and mammoths. We didn't mess with them. But there were some other things along here that I think we took care of. So hopefully our travel will be fast here as well. Oh, got some wolves. Oh, love the kill cam. Here they come. Oh man, that was not good. I didn't switch to first person quickly enough there. When they get that close, it's really difficult to hit them until you go to first person, so I should have switched sooner, but my mistake. That's one thing that concerns me a little bit. I've had some questions about the move to PC, and I was talking in one episode about getting used to the controls and all that kind of stuff. People have been commenting that, you know, you can use a controller and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm aware that I can use a controller, but there's a couple reasons why I'm not going to. The first one is that the controller is really only going to give me access, once again, to favoriting a maximum of 2 items. And now that I actually have a keyboard available to me and I can actually hotkey all of these things, to me it would be a shame to switch to PC just for mods and to not also take advantage of that. So for that reason, I am not going to a controller on a PC. I'm going to take the time to learn and get better at it and all that. The other thing is that if my eventual plan is to carry my play into Elder Scrolls Online, it would make sense for me to start learning the control set now, because although the controller is supposed to be supported in ESO, it doesn't sound anyway as though it's going to be supported right away, like out of the gate. And given all the options and the differences in the way that combat runs in ESO versus in Skyrim, I'm going to need as many shortcut options available to me as possible. And the best way to do that is for me to just get familiar with the PC controls again and be done with it. So you're going to have to put up with me learning a little bit, but I've been practicing and I'm getting much better at it. And again, I remapped all my keyboard controls, so I think things are going to be a little bit smoother going forward. I do thank you for your comments, though. Well, that was a piece of information I was already familiar with. For every piece of information I already know, there's 10 you guys tell me about that I wasn't familiar with usually, so I do appreciate the comments, and I read every single one of them. I try to respond to as many as I possibly can, so. Alright, let's take a little shortcut here and cut up overland behind Kynes Grove. Maybe shave a little time off of our hike here. Very soon I will be putting together a new series, which is really just about basically looking at different mods that are available, kind of analyzing those mods from the perspective of an assassin and how they might help an assassin. I don't know if I'm going to do this as part of Death Mentor or if it'll be a separate series, but one way or another I'm going to do that. As I'm exploring and I'm finding cool and interesting things that might help us all, I will share those with you as I find them, and I will do my best to do as much of an in-depth analysis of those items as I can. I have, as you've seen in one of my previous videos with my PC test footage, I do have a high-level archer assassin. He is a high elf named Valkyrie, and I will be utilizing him. He is level 52 currently, or level 53 perhaps. I will be using him to sort of test some of these different mods I've been finding and share them with you. I'm just not sure if that'll be part of Death Mentor or if that'll be something completely separate, but one way or another, it'll be tips designed specifically around particular sets of mods tailored to an assassin character type. Okay, we finally made it to Windhelm. Now, as per the usual routine, we want to sneak into Windhelm unseen, which means we're going to need to wait till nightfall. We're going to need to make the swim across this channel and sneak in the back door. But that is what we are going to do. Remember again, this is a role-play focused Let's Play. So you may feel that I'm doing things the hard way, but if you're into RP, you get it. So I don't think I need to explain any more than that. Alright, so we're going to wait here. I guess we're going to have to wait quite a while, actually. We made great time. Took us about maybe 5 hours in game time to get here. It's pretty good. All right. So it should be past midnight at this point. Now we're going to make the swim across this cold channel. We're going to help ourselves out by taking a resist frost type of potion. And we're going to make our swim. Come on. Up, up. There we go. Okay, these barrels are a good place to hide while we kind of wait. There's a guard here who's kind of patrolling in a loop. We gotta be careful. Okay, her loop is bringing her right up the stairs right now, which means there's no possible way that we could pass her without being seen. So we're going to move back down here and hide for just a minute. Let her pass down the stairs and go through the latter half of her patrol circuit, and then we'll head for the stairs. All right, here she comes. Takes a little patience. But it's worth it in my view. And there she goes. All right. Her back's to us. Should be able to make our move now. All right. Right up here. And around the corner we go. Well, we've reached the end of another episode. thank you for taking the journey with me, and until next time, may all that you do be swift, quiet, and deadly, and to all Skyrim assassins, I salute you. Silence is our battle cry. You've been watching Aranis Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. If you liked this video, please rate, like, and subscribe. For more information on this and other Couch Warrior broadcasts, visit me on the web at www.couchwarrior.tv.